594 miles in my 2024 Silverado. It's back at the dealership now. The truck will never be the same and I could care less about the warranty. After just 594 miles, George's brand new 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 faced a shocking engine failure. What happened next will leave you frustrated. Welcome back everyone, this is Armin Harayan from TorqueNews.com. Give us thumbs up if you like the story, what I'm about to tell you. The thrill of driving a brand new truck can quickly turn into frustration when something goes wrong, especially within the first few hundred miles, right? That's exactly what happened to George from Owings, Maryland, who purchased a 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 or 1500 Custom with the 2.7L TurboMax engine. Just 594 miles into ownership, George encountered a major engine issue that required a trip back to the dealership. Disappointed with how the situation was handled, George shared his story in the comment section of Edmund's 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 review. Here's what George wrote. Look at this, friends. This is very interesting. And let me know what the dealership is supposed to do in this case. George says, just bought a Silverado Custom with the 2.7 TurboMax 4-cylinder with 594 miles on it. It starts shaking and shimmying at a light. Hit the gas and the engine is shaking like crazy. I took my Silverado back to the dealer and it turned out that 2 cylinders needed to be replaced. Heritage Chevrolet in Owings Mills, Maryland, would not switch out the truck for a new one. I am beyond vexed because the truck will never be the same. I could care less about the warranty. How about doing right by your customer and taking back a defective product and fighting it out with the GM for sending you a bad truck? The customer always gets the short end of the stick. This is what George wrote, but the dealership may have some reasons here. So the situation raises significant concern for the truck buyer. After all, purchasing a brand new vehicle should offer peace of mind, right, and reliability, not costly and time-consuming repairs. George's frustration with the Heritage Chevrolet is rooted in his belief that the dealership should have replaced the truck outright instead of repairing it, given the major defect so early in its life. But why didn't the dealership take that step? So why the dealership repaired the truck instead of replacing it, or repairing the truck instead of replacing it? Friends, from the customer's perspective, it's easy to see why George is upset. I would be. A major repair like replacing 2 cylinders feels like a red flag for a truck with less than 600 miles on the odometer. However, dealerships operate under strict guidelines set by car manufacturers like General Motors. Here's why Heritage Chevrolet may have opted to repair the Silverado instead of repairing it. Manufacturer policies on replacement would be one of the reasons. Most car makers, including General Motors, prioritize repairing vehicles under warranty over outright replacements. And when we buy cars, we know about these rules. Dealers are contractually obligated to follow GM's warranty guidelines, which often dictate the vehicles must undergo repair attempts before a replacement is even considered. Second reason may be the cost of replacement. Replacing a vehicle is a costly process, and manufacturers often resist doing so unless absolutely necessary. Instead, they prefer to address specific issues through repairs. For a dealership, escalating a replacement request to the manufacturer could be met with significant pushback. The third reason may be something has to do with the Lemon Law standards, their standards. For example, while Georgia's truck is a major issue, it didn't meet the legal criteria for the Lemon Law under Maryland's Lemon Law. In most cases, a vehicle must undergo multiple unsuccessful repair attempts or remain out of service for an extended period before qualifying for a replacement or buyback. As you can see, it's not that easy to replace or make a buyback. And another reason may be the warranty coverage. The warranty, which George dismisses in his comment is designed to address exactly these types of defects, exactly these types of situations. For the dealership's point of view, they fulfilled their obligation by diagnosing and repairing the issue under warranty. So this is the environment we buy cars and operate them. So why George feels let down? Let's look at this from that point of view as well. Friends, for George, the key issue isn't just the defect itself, but the long-term implications of such a repair. A brand new Chevy Silverado that has undergone significant engine work so early in its life can lead to lingering doubts about its reliability and resale value. George's sentiment that the truck will never be the same resonates with many vehicle owners who have experienced similar situations. In fact, if you have experienced a similar situation, write in the comment section and let us know how it was handled. It would be interesting to read. So George's frustration with Heritage Chevrolet is compounded by a feeling that the dealership could have taken a more customer-centric approach, but you see, dealership also is bound by rules by the General Motors and also by the government. Offering to escalate the issue with GM, providing a loaner vehicle during the repair process, or sharing empathy for his situation might have softened the blow. Instead, George feels like he's been left to deal with the fallout of a defective product. Now, let me talk about some balancing the perspectives. While George's experience is undoubtedly frustrating, it's worth noting that dealerships often have limited control in these situations, like I said a little bit ago. They act as intermediaries between customers and manufacturers, following corporate policies that do not allow, that do not always align with customer expectations. So George may better call the GM directly or Chevy directly. That said, George's comment also highlights an area where dealerships can improve: customer communications and advocacy, explaining the constraints they face, offering a timeline for repair completion, and reassuring customers about the quality of post-repair performance can go a long way toward rebuilding trust. For example, if the dealership says that this vehicle will perform really great after the repairment, that could soften the situation a little bit, right? George's experience underscores the importance of thoroughly researching warranty policies, dealership reviews, and vehicle reliability before making a purchase. It also serves as a reminder to document any issues with your vehicle and stay informed about your rights under the local lemon law. So if your vehicle is going through any issues, friends, document them. So for automakers like GM, cases like this should be a wake-up call also. While the 2.7-liter TurboMax engine has been praised for its power and efficiency, early reports of liability issues can erode car buyer confidence. Addressing these concerns proactively, whether through better quality control or more flexible replacement policies, would help rebuild trust. That's been new. That I heard first time, but still, this is a great car, and there has been several new things in the Chevrolet Silverado 1500. One of them, it arrives with a handful of updates that, while not groundbreaking, enhance the appeal of Chevrolet's popular full-size pickup truck, and this is still a great truck. So I feel sorry that George has been going through this, but things happen. This is Armin Haraya from TorqueNews.com. Let me know if you have had similar experiences in the comment section. Write about them and let us know how they have been handled, and they may be featured in another story like this. Have a great day, everybody. Give us thumbs up if you like this story, and subscribe to our channel for daily automotive news. God bless you, and I'll see you soon in our next report.